I'm going to tell you about some of the new things we've got in Core Flow. As you know, in the clients we have, some of them depend on the generators. And we added a new client for SAP HANA that we can generate for this platform. Apart from that, you can install it as a services platform, and we are supporting Blooming's, SAP, Microsoft, Amazon, Google. So far we hadn't got that option. We had been unable to install any pass, but now you can. And something else, as you know, workflow clients, it's an app generated by GeneXus, both by Java or Net, depending on what you're using. And you are acquiring all the advantages, everything they've told you about, scalability and so on, everything that's been improved. You'll have it in this version. And I want to say this because one of the things that we've improved is the paging. And I think you've seen this with Javier. And so the workflow started being implemented, the pages where you see all those things, all the tasks that users have, it's paging with the server. And something that has allowed us to improve performance is everything that has to do with caching. Now, in version 16, they've been improved, and workflow has started using them. So we have cached in tables for certain parameters and certain sections. All that has helped the tool to work much better when we have much more load of data. We've also changed the protection, and as you can see, this is a web app, workflow license. We're always managed with Protection Server License Manager, any other GeneXus product. Now, in the workflow client, we have a license manager web, which means that you needn't go to the other license manager. You can do it from here. The other thing is that workflow licenses were nominated and corporate nominated. If you had to buy them for a certain number of users, and corporate was for any number of users. Now, but we had a product in the licensing, so now we've separated them. One is for nominated, the other one is for corporate, and you can ask for them separately. The other thing we've changed is that Protection's got two protections, native and Protection Server. Protection Server uses the same licenses that you can manage them from this license manager or from the previous one. The native one makes you change, instead of saving it in the way we used to, we are saving it in the workflow database. It's a license at the database level. This has allowed us to install workflow apps in the past because you didn't have an option to do it, install the protection in the server. And so when you make the deploy and you upload the app through the web interface, you ask for the license, it's saved in the database, and that allows us to work. And that's what I said earlier. So when we choose the native protection, we've got two options. Is the server that you are installing it from without any internet connection. You can say it's offline, and then it has this XA asking for the license, and you will get it. And the other one is an option to generate it the same way we had for the license manager. When you have licenses and things are not working well, you can generate it from this option. And then if we select Protection Server option, then what you have to do is exactly the same thing. We've got to have a server, the Protection Server, and the licenses should be installed there, just the same as we used to do. And the only thing we have to do is to put in the name of the server, the user, and the password we're going to be using. So here, and this is an important detail, is domain and user. It's not only user, it's domain and user. So it's got to be a user who has a permit to have to resort to that service. If these have been nominated licenses, they are already there, they've just been installed. So this has been quite a revolutionary change. Those of you using a workflow will probably find lots of advantages to be able to manage licenses from here and at the level of the database, which we believe is something that many people will start using it. Now, out of the other things that we should stress is that I think that Armin showed you that GeneXus apps, when you program them, you can generate logs from your own. Since workflow is the same, it started generating a log of all activities. So when you use APIs of workflows, which was just a black box and you didn't know what the actions were and you couldn't debug it and so on, we didn't know what was happening internally. If we enable the highest apps, debug and bug, and it starts recording in the app, and in that way we can see what things are happening. Sometimes it's because we are not putting the correct value of the process instance or the user code. So this is going to help us improve our own programming. It's not such a closed-in box or a black box, but we're going to have that interaction. So roughly those are the large functionalities. Now something else. As SD clients, I haven't shown them, but we still have them. It's the same interface, so start using it. We've got a web in KB that you can download from GeneXus server or XPZ to start making workflows that integrated part web and part SD. So the interface hasn't changed. It's still the same, but please start using them in your apps.